At one point, I was going to get my voice back, which is what you hear right now. 8 years recovery after assaults and many diagnoses really just show me that I was prepared to move on into a different field completely, since I will not work for a company that treats kids with special needs this way, all the while showing me the strategies of how abuse of power continues to work. Clearly, these people don't want consequences. And they can't answer the questions once they lied, which is a strange behavior, but one that we've all been confronted with. Think of a social event. Think of your own circle of friends, family even. People that are contradicting themselves and use excuses that work in the moment but that don't work later because, again, they contradict themselves. My husband, when in therapy, explained the motivation, which is to avoid consequence, avoid the questions. What he would do was use everything he knows about that person to whip at them so they walk away. And he was talking about one person in particular. My goal is to focus on the rape victim and survivors only. But along the way, I found the hypocrisy in a healthcare system and individuals with really fancy titles abusing their specialty. All right, I've said before that speech apraxia or whatever this is not connected to cognition, and they're trying to make it seem like I don't understand when all I'm doing is giving them back their own words to say, hey, it's a reflection of who you are and you do harm to others. I started out with the goal to pursue medicine, so the Hippocratic Oath is strong, meaning do no harm, and once you recognize you do harm, you stop. As an advocate, I know my job is to present facts so that that person can make decisions already plagued with so many decisions that many of us will not go through in a medical facility that's sterile, uncomfortable, and unfortunately many people in the ER have been victims before. Anyway, we see the behaviors modeled in politics and I've left voice memos and writing samples all throughout the digital universe, so that my story will be believable. Because if I want to fight for accountability and transparency, process to end the PTSD, which is the biological symptoms settling in, then I need to demonstrate that. All right, I was just a simple school teacher. I taught special ed and thought that I would stay there as long as I wanted to, with the dream that later I would pursue adult literacy in community colleges, because I understand the importance of literacy, writing, reading, expression of self, and that when you read and write and can express yourself, you can have a better life, period. Being able to set goals and achieve those goals is something everyone should have access to, okay? This is a reflection to say, I've been modeling this practice for a long time. This being the test today, to say, no, back up, stop using my disability because I said I can't read, which I know is confusing because I type quite a bit. But reading is more than just fluency and words, articulation, pronunciation, enunciation. It's the application. Nope. It's comprehension, retelling, summarizing, and answering inferential and literal questions. My teaching is coming back, but I'm not a teacher anymore. We know that stress happens when there's transitions, whether good or bad. A new house, new baby, new job, deaths, stress. Anyway, I just gave these people a chance to be honest. There is no emotional instability, but there is a biological symptom to the stress. I showed it with my sweating palms and said, you cannot deny physically what's happening. And this is going back to the Apple Store. I've asked all of them to define what they mean, and I corrected them in the moment. And why I said, well, you just defined mania as grandiosity, wanting to direct traffic naked, which I think is a sensory thing, and a sense of changing the world. And I stopped that person right there, this Dr. Goldman, and said, that's your mistake. I said change the law. And if you don't know what special education is, it's the law. There is suffering, so we changed the law to help the most disadvantaged at risk. Because we decided as a society that they too get a chance for the good life. What's that good life? Independence. Not depending on others who will target them, abuse and use them, and make them into survivor, victims, patients. So, s'il vous plaît, if you please, I'm getting off my knees to rise up and tell them, no. Okay. Anyway, I do feel like I have to sum up some of this stuff, as well as inability to hear my own voice, which corrected itself just recently. And that's what I've been tracking. Progress monitoring is a part of IDEA or Individuals with Disability Education Act. I'm just so tired doing this. But I do know that this will be the last time. Because anyone has questions or wants to connect with me, we're going to do it publicly, we're going to do it live. I will answer all your questions and give you my best advice, both as a specialist, as well as a humanist, and somebody who is just sick and tired of people doing the same thing in these titles that are supposed to mean something. So again, we're going to use their names. I've already used some of their names, knowing that that's part of it. You're going to try and shame me? I don't think so. You get that right back, and apparently you forgot that the whole point in life is not to bring shame to your family who brought you into this world, correct? Because that's the gratitude that we have. We got brought into this world somehow. Everyone has an origin story, and I can't explain.
Hannah Ken, HR, she's sort of in charge of me.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. Hannah Ken's in HR. So
it's the guy from Sherlock. Oh my gosh. Explain mine without first explaining the fact that I need to know how to deal with these individuals, because I will keep trying to show them, hey, change, because if you change, you can effectively be a better administrator, a better principal, a better teacher, a better parent, a better person to strangers, knowing you've caused harm. If you don't understand that, then fine. I'm a little stubborn, a little dense these days, that I still think there's potential for people to change, and now I'm officially giving that up. So instead, we're going to find people that truly want change. And like I said, if you're not online, there's this whole internet thing that has so many people sharing their stories privately, and I just wish they could share it publicly and let that shame go and recognize that there's more caring, loving people in the world, because unfortunately for many years I was only introduced and exposed to the worst people, and that's why I said there's got to be better people out there. And I had to rely on technology for timestamps, memory storage, and speed, as well as a way to get home, because I was taking photos to remind myself which direction to go. I lost executive functioning, which is very difficult to explain, but I knew I would not be able to explain it until I got here.
In 1966, the film that showed that rebellion was in the air was Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
That's Elizabeth Taylor.
Based on the play.
Here being active listening, higher level thinking questions, moral standards, and using what exists. So there are standards for teachers and students, right? How do we evaluate students? How does the teacher get evaluated? So we're going to use those standards. It just comes down to lying. Don't lie to me. And if you are lying, then own your lie. It's that simple. Why can't people say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, instead of I'm sorry for your experience, when their words were everything is a trigger. My words were no. What you're doing specifically is a trigger, and apparently that is something people are not used to hearing. So next time you're in a social circle, next time you see somebody, a little down on their luck, or lower than you, less than, try something different, because this kindness stuff really does ripple. I've had individuals ask for nothing. Oh my goodness.
In response, some
they ask for so little, so why can't we just provide what they're asking and more, and something else? Because we love luxury, we love imagery. I see it all over on Instagram, I see it in people's posts, I see it in the celebrity culture that we worship, and yet we forget what it means when you don't have to worry about your basic needs, and that nobody chooses to get born, nobody chooses to be born. So we're in this life together. Let's kick out those that are harming us, taking way too much. So if you're a teacher, kick out the baddies. If you're a cop, kick out the baddies. If you are a suburbanite, kick out the baddies. If you are a coach, kick out the baddies. If you're a player, athlete, I don't know, whatever you are, how do you identify? I identify as female, kick out the baddies. I identify as, white, more so than Asian American, kick out the baddies. I identify as a teacher, special educator. I think I might have already said that, sorry. A wife, and then an ex-wife. As well as Catholic. I'm Roman Catholic. Kick out the baddies. And, I don't know. I think that's it. All right, so identify who you are first, and then when people try to erase that, say, no, you're wrong, and that's where we begin. All right, all the strategies in one place. So I have 2 YouTube channels I'm going to be working on. The past is in the past. I'm not going to add to the past, but there's over 1,200 videos in 6 different YouTube sites. What? I'm gonna model true collaboration. Hello, Neptune. And I got this other cat. System where I brought everything to Northwestern Hospital. Got to get out. I'm gonna show this hoodie. This hoodie is a nonverbal cue to the person who had a picture of me as her wallpaper in her phone. When people change their story, that's when my PTSD sort of gets activated. It just means pictures, touches, sounds, the sensory stuff, disordered, because it's not true. I'm not going to support and just blindly accept because my body is not capable of absorbing this anymore because it's too rampant. Virtual life. We need to hold ourselves and each other accountable, right? So let's try to do that a little bit. Just saying. Vertigo, vestibular, we're affecting lots of things related to functioning, fine motor, gross motor, and neuropathy after violence was affecting really well. Lots of things after functioning. Effectively avoiding that, and I give them the benefit of the doubt. You can't see the big picture unless we hang out for longer. I'm going to do my best. They come after me. Understanding and it's not like I didn't warn them. No surprises. And if we don't have a shared objective of holding people accountable for when they cause harm, then you're not on my side. I care accountability and transparency and more resources. Because there's so many good people out there. Quite frankly, you know who the best people are? The receptionists at the doctor's office. The customer service people who are genuinely trying to solve the problem and listen. Happens every so often. It did not happen at the Apple store, and that's where we'll start. Because I had a biological moment, and I said to them, do you not see me tearing up? Like, I am streaming, crying. My body's shaking, and I'm asking you to just back up. You're talking way too close to me. You're too loud. This whole store is way too bright. And I'm asking you to show me the notes, because you just said in the notes it says there was water damage. And the thing is that I walked into the store and asked, how much time do I have to come back here? Because I need to know what to expect. It's the anticipation that hurts. Because I am already anticipating being lied to, already anticipating people not being honest. That was my trigger. Honesty, dishonesty, lying on paper into my face. I said I didn't share anything about water. Nobody even looked at my phone. I just asked somebody, hi, I just got a phone here. The volume doesn't work or something. Like, it doesn't ding. So I'm okay with it because of the fact that, honestly, more noise is a problem. But since I got a lemon phone, how many weeks or months do I have to return it? And that's it. So I'm sorry, but in your notes, I didn't show them the phone. So you can't tell me there was water damage. So let me see the notes. And they kept saying, we can send you the notes. We can send you the notes. We can send you the notes. Apple Store was just like healthcare today. All right. Sorry, this went a little bit longer than I was hoping, but quite frankly, it could go really long as I attempt to explain it all in one sitting. And I just know that's not possible. We need everyone involved. We need psychologists, psychiatrists, administration. We need CEOs. We need the police. We need the firemen. We need teachers, parents. We need individuals that are helping us maintain schools. The ones that we never appreciate. Our janitors, our office workers, our receptionists, our people who all share one thing, that we have one life, do it right. We use the words to elevate kids, so we might as well follow through. Because quite frankly, they're going to grow up and realize that we lied to them. And that's a really unfortunate, horrible feeling. And when people hurt, they hurt others. That is a fact. I saw it in the school system with my students. They hurt and they hurt others. Oh, they're self-hurting. I heard the stories of the individuals in these CBT and DBT classes. They hurt, so they hurt others. This self-harming thing. It's intense. And I know how to end trauma. I did it just recently, and I will start sharing that story too. All right, thanks everyone. Please connect, share, subscribe, whatever. If you know people that have an interested, collective objective to end trauma, help others, and call out those that might seem a little scary at first, but they're just humans. Don't forget, you can only wear one pair of pants at a time. Something I can talk about proactively, practically, and those that are suffering under the same symptoms. If you are able to have that access, it can help. Okay, I'm going to be sharing my future goals and what I plan to do. Since apparently I can't get a neurologist to write me that letter to explain where I am, since that was the last conversation I had with the current neurologist that I have, except she disappeared. It's like, okay, well, all the things you said that you would do, again, similar to Eileen Johnson today. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
enter your agent ID. Please take the customer off hold.
Hello?
Welcome to our customer satisfaction survey. We appreciate you taking...
And that's what I'm getting ready for. All right, it's not easy to talk about these topics, but like I said, I woke up in a world that I do not recognize. So we will address it like I would normally address it as a classroom teacher. Every day is different. You got to be able to predict. If I do this, this might happen. And if I did this and this happened and I don't want it to do, I'm not happy with that result, then you don't do it again. Get it? You learn. You got to learn from your mistakes or you will hate teaching. Oh my God, it's the worst thing if you don't learn from your mistakes and just do the same thing over and over and over. Isn't that the definition of insanity, I think?